Welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you how to select the right racket for you and your style of play. We'll be right back. Okay, so for me there are three things that I like to consider when picking a racket for myself. One is the racket size. Okay, that's the first one. And then the second one is the style of player you are will determine how you choose that racket. And then third is the weight. Picking the right racket size is important. And why do I say that? The reason I do say that is because there are players that like more surface area so that they're able to strike the ball and strike it with confidence and ensuring that the ball hits the string. Now for the more advanced player, they would choose a racket that is a little bit smaller in size. This racket right here is just probably an average racket, and this is the racket I play with as far as size is concerned because it fits my needs. I don't like to choose the bigger size because it's hard for me. It seems like it's hard to manage, right? The surface area right here is sufficient enough for me to strike the ball adequately. Now, if you are a beginner player, you choose a racket of this size, you may have issues because when you're trying to get around and hitting the ball, you might actually hit the frame of the racket, causing the ball to ricochet off and not hitting a clean shot. So it's important that you pick that size, the right size racket for your needs. Okay, the style of player you are is another key ingredient of choosing the right racket. Whether you're a power player or more of maybe a player that likes more of a control, then that will be the two things that you would need to consider. Okay, so let's say for example, if you like to hit with a lot of power and you don't care about control, you just want to smack the heck out of the ball, you want a racket that is heavier on this side, the head side. So when you put a finger like this, it'll tilt over a little bit and it won't balance, okay? And that will generate more power for you. Now, if you are taller and you have longer arms where you reach out and you can generate your own power, you would want to stick with a racket that is the weight distribution are about the same, and that in itself will give you more control of the ball so that it doesn't go out when you hit it most of the time. The final criteria for selecting a racket is ensuring that the weight of the racket is the right weight for you. And that's my third recommendation when you're looking for a new racket. Just to give you just a bit of some knowledge, an average racket weighs about 10.6 ounces. So whether you are a beginner player or you are more of an advanced player will determine what weight racket you should select. So for example, if you are a beginner player, beginner meaning 3.0 and slightly above, you should choose a racket that's about 10 ounces in weight. Now for more an advanced player, I would recommend choosing a racket that weighs about 11 ounces. Advanced meaning 4.5 level and above, which is kind of in the open arena. So for me, I chose a racket that was pretty light. The overall weight of the racket is 9.9 ounces. This is the Wilson Ultra. I really like this racket. I think it does the job for me. When you're out there 2 to 3 hours playing a match, your arms doesn't feel like it's gonna come off playing a long match. So remember this: if you choose a racket that is lighter it requires more strength. So you're gonna have to use more of that force in your body to move that ball. And it's, of course, it's easier to swing, right? The lighter it is. The heavier it is, you're taking more strength, but you're letting the racket do most of the work for you to generate the power on the ball to get it moving. All right, to recap, the 3 things that I recommended before you go out and purchase a new racket is as follows. 1, racket size. Make sure that you pick the right size for your own needs so that it's not too small, not too big, but just perfect, okay? The second is making sure you understand your own self and what style of player you are to ensure that you pick the right racket, whether that's a heavier head or the full weight distribution on the racket is completely balanced, or a lighter racket, okay? And then the third criteria, which I've already kind of mentioned earlier, is the weight of the racket. Make sure you pick the right weight for your needs. If you are a power player and you like power, pick a racket that's heavier so that you can generate more power. For me, I like control, so therefore I don't like that heaviness in the racket, so I pick a lighter racket so that I can use less of my own strength, or more of my own strength, I'm sorry, to generate more power. So like I said, lighter requires more strength, okay, to hit the ball, and then thus is easier to swing the racket. I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like, subscribe, and the share button. And if you have any comments for me or anything that would give good tips for other players to use, or any recommendations how I can make the video better, go ahead and comment below, and then I'll try to respond back as much as I can. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.